Welcome back to the Kingdom Promoters Talk Show. I'm here with Mr. Daniel Sarature, the founder and director of CePAD, Center for Positive Attitude and Sustainable Development. Before we left for the break, we were talking about his journey to England and what he studied and the challenges that he encountered while he was there. So, Mr. Sarature, when we were previously talking, you obtained your degree, and then the opportunity came for you to continue with your master's degree. But there were some challenges, and you chose to go back to Sierra Leone.
Yes.
And to be honest, I was very impressed when I read that, because just like I said, a lot of people would have just used that opportunity to stay there and ignore the dream, ignore the vision that they're carrying, you know. But you went back. So talk about when you went back home. What
Yes.
other doors where were the other doors and opportunities that opened up?
There is an interesting story when I went back to Sierra Leone. One of the things really, well, the ministry, the mission actually was not like they had something for me, and so they told me I can work with anybody. So I went to the Ministry of Health and see how best I could work with the Ministry of Health and Sanitation.
Right.
And Fatih, it will interest you to note that when I went to the ministry and I told them I was interested in working with the ministry, but then they told me that they would subject me to the same conditions of service before I left the country. So when I came back, it was the same conditions they wanted to subject me, and I told them no, it was unfair on my own side. I said, you know what, just forget about me. And interestingly, I was not obliged in any way, because the funding I had, the sponsorship was not from the Ministry of Health. So it was like a kind of a blessing for the ministry. But then they refused improving on my conditions, and then
But yet, with that disappointment, it did not stop you.
No, it didn't.
It motivated you to
go.
pursue more.
Exactly.
So with that being said,
Yeah.
what other jobs did you work? Like what other developments?
Well, actually, because of this problem I had with the Ministry of Health, then I went to the Wesleyan Church. The Wesleyan Church had a healthcare department, and so I kind of identified myself and see whether they have place for me, and they made a job available.
You were able to
I
work.
was able to be absorbed in the ministry, in the department, the healthcare delivery department in the Wesleyan Church. And so I was posted to Magina Tonko in the Cambia district.
Right. And how long did you work there?
I was there like for 5 years.
Wow.
Yes. And then the war intensified, and then I had to flee to Guinea. So I was in Guinea like for 1 year, and when the peace accord was signed, I left Guinea to come back to Sierra Leone, and I started work with Caritas McKinney, where I was made kind of a field coordinator, you know, and then I was there like for the second year, the opportunity came for World Hope International.
Right.
This is an American-based NGO that went into Sierra Leone to start program with amputees.
Right.
They had a program called the Limbs of Hope program, LOH.
Right.
You know, so I was identified as the Amputee Care Center coordinator in Freetown.
Right.
So I was with World Hope like for nearly 12 years. In 2002, I was posted to to Bombali district, you know, as a regional coordinator to start a health program there for World Hope International. So I was in this program, and, you know, I started doing work on the attitudinal change concept, you know, something that I'm very passionate about, you know, and the dream came to me way back in the early 80s. You know, when I came out as a community...
About the attitudinal change.
Yes. So when I came out as a community health nurse, when I was in Bombali primary health care, you know, I have been always telling people, you know, when you work with communities, there is always a tendency for people to tell you the government is not doing anything, the NGOs are not doing anything for us. And I keep telling them, then how long will you continue to think this way? You know, your mindset about the government, about NGOs, you are here in your village. Nobody even knows there's somebody like you existing in this part of the world. So why can't you do something?
You gotta do something.
Yes, you got to do something for yourself, to help yourself.
So with that being said,
right.
Tell us how CePAD came about.
Yes,
the Center for Attitude.
Yeah. So when I was in World Hope International, because I have been doing a lot of work in this whole concept called attitudinal change, and so in 2006, I really rallied around few of my colleagues to come up with something more organized
To educate
to educate people,
people.
on their mindset, the negative effect of their mindset
Right.
about certain things, you know. But then in 2007, when the APC power came back, APC party came back to power, you know, and one of the things that the president spoke about in his inaugural speech in 2007, he spoke extensively on the attitudinal change concept. And that was the time I said, wow, I think it's high time that we get ourselves more organized so that we champion the cause of this whole vision of His Excellency. But then I have to clarify to you that are viewing this program that CePAD was not formed as a result of the vision of His Excellency, but it's kind of rejuvenated us to be more organized than ever. And so in 2008, we came up with CePAD,
Right.
and then it was registered with the Ministry of Social Welfare, so
And,
that we could operate as an institution in the country
To
to
help
actually
people.
help disseminate information, education about this whole philosophy on the attitudinal change.
So since 2008, right,
Yeah.
to now, what are some of the accomplishments that CePAD has made, or impact that CePAD has made on communities, organizations, ministries, people in general?
I think one of the things I need to tell you that how I got even more motivated into this thing. If we can recall, when Paul was in prison in Rome, in Philippians chapter 1 verse 27, Paul wrote to the people that we as Christians should live a Christ-like attitude, you know. And another story that really keeps motivating me in the Bible is the story of blind Bartimaeus. That is in the book of Mark chapter 10, verses 46 to 52.
Right.
You know, that story is an interesting story. There are three things I learned in that story. The first thing that I learned in that story is that Bartimaeus was bold. That is one. Number two, Bartimaeus was also persistent.
Determined.
You know, and determined. And then the third one, he was hopeful and had faith in the
In
person he was looking for.
Yeah.
And so when Christ was moving from Jericho to Nazareth, you know, and Bartimaeus heard that Jesus was passing by. And so he went to the road.
His mindset.
And then, yes,
He already
about
got it
Christ.
out there.
Yes.
That if
And then, you know, he said, oh, like he was shouting, Son of David,
yeah.
have
Mercy.
pity on me.
Yeah.
You know, and then the people like kind of scolded him, and they were trying to stop me, but he kept shouting even louder than ever.
Because his mind is
You
made
see?
up to get his healing that
yes,
day.
you
and
know,
he was persistent.
and so Christ like kind of said, oh, let him come. And you know, when Bartimaeus was brought to Christ, came to Christ, and then he threw his garment, and then he asked him, what do you need? He said he wants his sight. And then he said, go, your faith has made you well. So you see that story, and I've faced a lot of challenges in this whole thing that I am talking about today. And each time, people will say a lot of negative things about me and about CePAD. And when we started, like the founding members were 6, but now they are all gone because there is no money in this whole thing. But I always remind myself with the story of blind Bartimaeus.
You keep yourself
Yes,
determined.
more
Because
determined.
the Bible said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you think possibility, possibility will
Will
happen.
come your way.
If you think impossibility, that's what you get. You know, life and death lies in the power of our tongue.
Yes.
Whatever you pronounce over yourself is what you get. So,
And like we are saying about some of the achievements we have made, of course, even though we don't have funding, but we have an appreciable number of members, really. and we are registered already with the Ministry of Social Welfare. We have conducted training for
That's
different...
in Sierra Leone?
Yes, in Sierra Leone.
Right.
We have conducted trainings for different institutions, the Bombali District Student Association, the local councils. We have also conducted a training in Paki Masabon Chiefdom Mapaki,
Right.
and then we did also another one in Bumbuna, and we have also worked with church institutions, the Wesleyan Church. We did a training in Freetown for the Women's Institute. It was well attended of over 200 women. And I also do public lectures in the University of Makeni, UNIMAC, you know, and we have also produced an album, of which Seri was one of the people who really helped us to print it out.
Right.
If you not change, you go end by change, meaning that if you don't change your attitude, one day you will have to account of your attitude, you know. And we have also developed jingles, you know. There's a jingle that we made on political tolerance during the past elections. We are talking to people how we all need to work together and live together and make sure that we all work as a
and
team
make a better
and make a
community.
better Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And recently, I have also tried to establish an advisory board for this noble institution. We have already an established advisory board in Sierra Leone, and there is another advisory board here in the USA, which is headed by Alfred Conte. And I must, at this point, reiterate the generosity the light of Christ is doing to me. One of the things I must say here is when I came to the US in 2006, there was a divine connection between myself and the Light of Christ International. And one of the things that I must say here that the Light of Christ is an exceptional ministry, a Sierra Leone ministry in the United States. And it is one of the fastest growing Sierra Leone church, I must confess, with a membership of over 300, I must say. And so when I came last year, I came in August. One of the things that I did was how I could share my knowledge in this whole concept with the visionaire or the overseer in the name of Evangelist Kele Masamura. And he looked at what I told him, and then he saw sense in it, and then he said, "Oh, I think it's good for you to come and share whatever you have."
The people.
And you that are viewing this thing, we did 7 lessons in the Light of Christ.
Training.
Yeah, in the training.
And I was part of that training.
You have one of my students.
It was very, very effective.
If I can share some of the topics really that we did in this training, one of the foundation training lesson is the attitudinal change concept, and then the other lesson is time management. You know, time is an issue with people.
Right.
You know,
especially
and then,
in America.
Yes,
right.
And then we also spoke about grudge as something that is eating into the fabric of society. Grudge has led to the separation of relationship. It has shattered relationship, and it has people have lost their lives as a result of grudge.
Grudge can also give birth to jealousy.
Of course.
So when you talk about attitude, and attitude is like just the umbrella, but then under that, there's a whole lot of branches.
Yeah. Right.
A whole lot of things that can, and grudge is one of the things when you spoke about it, when you talked about it during the training, it was really, really powerful, because sometimes you do carry grudge, but you don't even know you carry it. And how do you know that you are carrying grudge?
One of the things really that God is always putting in my mind is, normally I look at prevailing circumstances, issues that border around everyday life, and God kind of just talked to me and then designed a training program around that.
You build up something out of what God is giving you. And that's why your program is very effective. And this year you also went to the university.
Yes, I went to Horton College where I did like 10 days. You know, I did I did a lecture on culture and anthropology, culture change, And I also did a lecture on the public health challenges in Sierra Leone. And then one of the biggest presentation that I had was on the attitudinal change concept. I had professors, lectures in that class, and it was really, really interesting, you know, and it really made me feel very good, because for me, coming from Sierra Leone, a third world country, and then to come to the United States, and then, you know, Houghton College is one of the oldest Wesleyan colleges in the US. It was founded in 1883. So it's a long, long time college. And that really made me feel very good. And I must be grateful. And if I should continue with the topics that I really taught during the training with the Light of Christ International Fellowship Ministry, we did also something on teamwork, you know. I always remind myself, I have an adage that a single finger cannot pick a stone. Yes. And then no matter how big a cotton tree is, it doesn't constitute a forest. It will remain a cotton tree. So no matter how big and great a cotton tree is, it will remain a cotton tree. It will never constitute a forest.
A whole bunch of cotton trees to make a forest.
A forest. So that's why teamwork is really important. And then I think the Light of Christ have a slogan that teamwork makes the dream work. You see that?
Yeah.
And then I also did something on leadership, you know, skills. But then after that training, I had a dream also. In fact, it will be interesting to share it. You know, there's something that out of my experience back home, now I'm presently writing something on sycophancy in leadership.
Wow.
Sycophancy is the act of flattering. You know, most of us coming from developing countries, very few people will come to their leader and tell them their shortcomings.
What they're doing wrong.
You know, we are always telling, oh, you are doing okay, everything is fine. And it's really not helping our leaders. So that is something I'm presently working on, really. I titled it Sycophancy in Leadership. It is undermining democratic principles, you know, in our countries and even our institutions, because we always go with the wrong impression. We give the wrong image to people. Even when people are not doing okay, we tell them, oh, everything is okay. It is not that. It is always like when people say, not all that glitters is gold. Yeah. So the only way is by telling people their shortcomings. And that is what I'm writing on, and I want to encourage people. It is not like you are going to challenge them, but you really, how can we be bold to tell our leaders their shortcomings?
That's a very powerful topic, because some people wonder, like, what is the secret behind the success of Light of Christ?
Oh, that is something I would love to share. And honestly,
by you saying that, our leader believes in raising up leaders. He always say, I'm not raising followers.
Yes.
I'm raising leaders. And when you're there as a leader, because me, I had my own personal encounter with him. That's one thing I love and respect about him. When he sees something great in you, he always try to, he's not God, but he has been put over us as a shepherd. So God can use him to bring structure in our lives. And he always tell you as it is. Sometimes the truth hurts.
It does.
And especially as a leader, you always think you know everything. You always think the people,
have it all.
Right. The people under you or following you don't have nothing to say that is negative or try to give you constructive criticism. But sometimes when you have someone like Pastor Colette as a leader that tells you, this is what you're doing. And if you don't, like he rebukes you at that time, because sometimes tough love is needed. As a leader, you have to give tough love, and you have to receive tough love, because you never know. That just like the book of Solomon, that the man in the Bible, Solomon, he, after everything he did for God, and God said, okay, you've done well. How can I reward you? He said, all I need is wisdom. When you have wisdom, you'll be able to raise up leaders. You'll be able to tell leaders their fault without being
hurting them.
right, without hurting the
them.
feeling or making them feel less of themselves. That's the kind of pastor that we have.
And one of the things normally when I'm teaching leadership, if you want to be a leader, you have to be a great follower.
Yes. And it's
because
it took me a long time to get that concept.
Yes, you see.
Really
so in the process of being a follower,
you learn
so much from
right.
your leader,
right.
and then other followers will also see attributes of leadership in you.
Right.
So when there is a vacuum, a power vacuum, there is always a tendency. Followers will say, "Oh, let's have Fatih Samura, or let us have Daniel Saratu there to fill that vacuum or
right.
to fill that gap." And as you are saying, one of the things that is very unique about the light of Christ is their rate of generosity.
Yeah.
I am a beneficiary of their generosity. I won't explain the details,
yeah.
but I have been a beneficiary.
Yeah.
And you know, in life, that is why even the teachings were so relevant, because greed was
right.
another topic that also we talked about.
Right.
You know, when a leader is greedy, it undermines his potential to grow.
Yeah,
to grow, because it is all about me, and you know, it won't help.
Well, it all starts from the head. The Bible says if the foundation is weak,
you see,
what can the righteous do?
And you know, I always tell people, we as Christians should lead a Christ-like life. Look at what Jesus Christ did, you know, when he was about to leave the world. He called all his disciples, and then what he did, he washed the feet of his disciples. So that was something that leaders should be servants, not bosses. Any servant, any leader that assumes the position of a boss, you will never succeed.
Yeah.
I learned so much from that story.
Well, we can go on and on and on about this topic because it's a very broad and interesting topic.
Right.
Because attitude is something that we all need to either improve. It's a personal decision. You know, we all have attitude one
it's
way or
the
another.
choice you make
it's
every
a choice.
day. Yes.
So it's up to you to make up your mind to either live a positive attitude
exactly.
or live in a very negative attitude. And to be honest, whoever is watching us, I must say, I would like to encourage you to pray and ask God to help you to live a very positive attitude. Because living a negative attitude, it's not going to help. It's only going to help you become more depressed. More angry, downcasted. Always thinking about like things, even when you see possibility out of something, you look at it as a negative thing. So our prayer to you this afternoon is for you to just ask God. Because the Bible said in the book of Matthew 7:7, it said, ask and it shall be given. Everything you ask of God, He will give it to you.
Definitely.
So attitude is something that we really need, a positive one, to make it in life. You know, so don't go away. We'll be right back and you'll get more information as of where to get these materials to help you, because there's a lot of information that Mr. Toure have that will be a blessing unto you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Kingdom Promoters Talk Show. I'm here with Mr. Daniel Toure, the founder and director of CePAD. Mr. Toure was saying about the importance of attitude. As a director and founder of CePAD, a lot of people will want to think, why does it matter? Like, I've been through so much in life. You don't know where I've been. You don't know where I've been through. Who are you to tell me about my attitude?
Correct.
Can you tell us why is our attitude important for human being?
I think attitude is fundamental in the human person, if I should say. And don't forget the fact that your attitude constitutes your thoughts, your views, your opinions, your ideas, and how you relate. So, meaning there is nothing in life you will do as an individual that is not
consists of attitude, right?
So that makes it very, very important. Attitude determines who you are, you know, and it is the choice you make every day. So it is really, we shouldn't treat attitude for granted. It is fundamental in the human person. And if I want to people to know more about it, can I just make a quotation
Sure.
from one renowned motivational speaker?
Mm-hmm.
That is Chuck Swindoll. If I should read it good.
Yeah, sure.
The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me, and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitude. Don't you see sense in that?
You know, it makes perfect sense. Like Pastor Colette have this saying.
Right.
The Bible said, "Your gift will make a room and a way for you that will usher you in front of kings and queens." But he said, "It's your attitude that will keep you there."
That is what he's saying.
It's your
You may
attitude.
have, and he keeps saying, I remember him saying that you can have your education,
Right.
you can have everything, but if you don't have the right attitude, it
It
will
always
nothing.
make you miserable.
Miserable.
I mean, I can personally relate to that
Yeah.
because attitude is very, very important. As I said, some people will say, "Oh, you don't know what I've been, you don't know what I've been through in life. You don't know what people have done to me. I've been hurt so many times."
Yes.
But you are in charge
You see,
to change that.
yes, and that is the more reason, even when I'm doing the trainings, that
You
don't ever say I will change someone's attitude.
Yeah.
It's very wrong for anybody to say that, because as you are seated here, Fatih, I don't know what it is in your mind.
Right.
You only have authority over
yourself.
So that is the mistake.
Yeah.
But what we are doing as an institution is that we give you the necessary education, the necessary knowledge to know the effect or the ill effect of some of these things that people engage on. And so the option and the responsibility rest on the individual, not Daniel Sarature. I may tell you this thing is not good, this thing is bad, but the onus rests on you to say, yeah,
To accept
this
it
thing,
or not.
yes.
Right.
You see?
So it's very
really
important
So
for us to have control
exactly.
over,
Exactly.
especially like in this side of the world that we find ourselves. And you know, the thing is, I find it really interesting sometimes the way how the world is. We as children of God, we should be the light of this world.
Yeah.
Because the world is not giving solution no more. And people are coming into the church for solution, for answers. So as children of God, we should be in that position, attitude-wise, to be able to accept, okay, Sister Mary came with a problem. Sister Mary, I've been there. All hope is not lost. But give them that positive encouragement that it will be okay. But if Sister Mary comes with the problem of, "Oh, this person slapped me yesterday and I cannot stand her," and then he said, "Oh, you don't know, the person kicked me yesterday," but like, negative attitude
Yes.
plus negative attitude does not produce anything good.
Yes, yes.
So, but if you be negative and you come with a positive attitude, it makes a great impact.
In fact, that is one of the reasons, even in our trainings, normally we discuss the attributes of somebody with a positive attitude. And that is one of the things. They have the attitude of encouraging others. They have that spirit.
That spirit of encouragement.
Encouragement.
Yeah.
Telling people, oh, it's not
It is
lost.
well. Yeah.
There is light at the end of the
tunnel.
tunnel.
Yeah.
You know,
there's hope.
These are some of the things. They are grateful. They are grateful and they are hopeful in life. They know life is full of challenges, but they know at the end of the tunnel there is light.
Wow.
You know, these are some of the things that people really know. And you know what Chuck Swindle is saying here, that 10% or in life is the things that are not working well.
So how can you dwell on 10%?
10%.
When you have a whole
90% of all the good things that happen
to
you in your life. So if you tend to focus on the negative, so it's like you are doing the opposite.
Right. So like the best thing is here, I feel like we have to have more gratitude.
Yes.
When you have gratitude, the attitude of gratitude, then the potential, the tendency for you to have
grow.
A great attitude is very great.
Yes.
You know,
and that is why even in some of the topics, when I was talking back home in Sierra Leone, I have the topic every day give thanks.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of people in life take life for granted.
There's
a lot of work going in our body, the heart, the brain cells, the digestive system, the respiratory system, the circulatory system. You call it. I mean, these are all things. Don't you know it's a miracle going on in your body that you need to be grateful?
So every day you wake up, everything is intact.
Yes.
You just say thank you, God.
Thank you, Lord.
Instead of complaining about what didn't work yesterday.
So your headache,
you know.
Do you have to tell people? Stop complaining. That's another topic.
Do something about it. Stop complaining.
Today.
You know, that's all we have today. It's
interesting. Can we talk about today the materials or whatever? You know.
Definitely. Before we leave, what word of encouragement do you have for our viewers out there? Like, just tell them, give them hope. There's somebody watching right now that have lost maybe your mother, your father, your child, your husband, or you're going through divorce. That has left a very bitter attitude, feeling in you that is resulting to a very negative attitude. What can you say to someone?
I think one of my quick advice is, for everything that happens to you, everything that happens to you in your life, it happens for a reason.
Yes.
But sometimes, and not every bad thing is a bad thing, that every bad thing that happens to you is not totally bad.
Right.
But sometimes we tend to forget the 90% of the good things that are happening into our life. So let your focus be today the 90% of the good things that happen around you, regardless of whatever pain that you are going through. Remember that 90% is the good thing that happen around you. I want to encourage you that you want to contact me. My cell phone number is on the screen, and then the website and the email address is on the screen. You can contact us. You can contact the Light of Christ International Fellowship Ministry. That is a wonderful place you can come today for deliverance, transformation, and salvation, as it is their watch. It is our watch words and vision. And so the materials are available. We have a training manual that we completed in the Light of Christ, which is like around 40 pages, which is like going for $20, and it's a 7 lessons training manual. This is the manual on the attitudinal change concept itself, and the topic inside this book, you have the attitudinal change concept itself, you have time management, you have greed, you have growth, you have teamwork, leadership skills, and community entry process for field workers. So this is one material. This one is going for $20. This is the DVD plate. This is from my mentor, Jeff Keller. This is a renowned and motivational speaker.
Right.
This is a DVD, Your Path to Greatness. This cost about $69, but then we are doing it for only $10.
Wow.
And that has his permission. So don't ever think all that I'm saying about this DVD, the guy who made it, who is Jeff Keller, he knows.
Gives you the permission
That
to
is
do
his
that.
contribution that he's giving to CePAD, that we can photocopy it, we can do several copies, we can sell it at any cost.
Wow.
I originally bought it for $69, but now the photocopy, we are doing it for just $10. It is really great. These are two powerful presentations that Jeff Keller that has done. You have seen it yourself.
Yeah.
Another material here, this is the book.
That's the key.
I had this book in 2006. This book has done a lot in my life. I think after the Bible, this is my next
You
book.
always say that.
I always tell you that, Fatih. And of course, this is going for $15.
Right.
This is just a way to fund CePAD. You know, these prizes are all just to help fund CePAD so that we can do our activities back home in Sierra Leone. Of course, we have this button or pin-up. This is about CePAD. It's going for $5. So these are the materials, the contact details you will see on the screen. I want to thank you all, and God bless you all, and have a nice day.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Turi.
Thank you.
It was a
very
pleasure
much.
having you on the set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is all we have for today. And if you want to get more information about Mr. Daniel Sarature, you can follow him on Facebook on Central for Positive Attitude and Sustainable Development. And also you can find him on his website at www.cepadsierraleone.com or www.cepadsl.com. If you want to send him a personal email to explain how this show or his topics have impacted your life, or you want to get more information about what he's doing, his email address is dsture@yahoo.co.uk. And his phone number is on the screen. You can reach him on that phone number as well. Or you can also reach the Pastor Kole Samora at the Light of Christ International Fellowship Ministries. This is all we have for you today. It was a pleasure having you on the show, Mr. Toure. And I hope and pray that everyone that has watched the show, God will bless you. And whatever you're struggling with, God will help you. You know, I leave you with this word for today, Job 22, verse 28. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established, and thou shalt shine your light before thy way. May God bless you all. I'll see you next week. Sister Fatih K. Samora from the Light of Christ International Fellowship Ministries. Stay blessed.